Now, this is an interesting piece. This is a film about somebody who's trying to heal a wound that was inflicted on them without their choice from some time far ago.
I think what it was about was the trauma and about her being pregnant now and not wanting to repeat those patterns and taking classes like yoga to try to cope with the trauma that's happened and not repeat those same patterns. I think that's what it was about.
So I think there's this really interesting, sophisticated little note they throw into this piece, which is that she breaks a glass and suddenly she's propelled right back into the most dark times of her childhood. And I have to say, I can see some relatability in that. Like, sometimes you're just one bad day from remembering all the terrible things that ever happened to you. And it's something as simple as breaking a glass and you're like, and my world is awful and it always has been and it always will be. But she breaks that cycle.
I did like that part with the breaking the glass. I think there just could have been more to it. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of completing the story. I mean, I know it was there, but I don't know, I just felt like there was something missing.
When you think about this short film as just being a snapshot of a life, not say the whole journey, but one step in the journey. She's halfway through her life, planning the life of someone else, if we go with the thing that she's pregnant and preparing for that. She's choosing to not hold on to that, and this is her step how. Sometimes leaving isn't as simple as walking out the door. Like, healing from trauma is like muscle strength. You gotta do it every day.
I really liked how little dialogue there was when they did start speaking. I almost found myself wishing that they had stayed to like no dialogue whatsoever, because they really got the point across. Like, the actor was great, and she got her point across with showing her trauma without really needing to say like she's suffering. It was just all in her eyes and stuff. And I think it was the only short film I've ever seen at a festival. I was like, wow, I wish that was longer. It's always the other way around, but for that one I could have watched like 5 more minutes of that easy without getting bored. So yeah, I liked it.
I just had a question about the relationship between the girl and her sister. Because when she sat down at the park, I thought maybe that was her sister or something. But I don't know if they really delved too deeply into that relationship. Maybe since you've had a little bit more time to reflect on it, you might be able to speak to it.
Well, the credits say that it's like a guest or like a park friend. So I'm assuming that they are not related. But because she also says this line like childhood's a magical time, right? Which I feel would be a weird thing to say to a sister who's experienced the same trauma as you. And it's interesting that she's seeing this idyllic life from the perspective of these 2 children she's watching in the park, you know, and then jumps to her own world, which had idyllic moments. She had lovely moments in childhood, playing in the sprinklers, doing Scrabble with her mom. It's unfortunately interwoven with tragedy, with sadness, with fear, right? So I think that for her, this moment of, oh, look at this beautiful idyllic moment, I'm gonna give that to my kids, I'm gonna do that. It happened to me too, oh, but it was also tainted by this. I think this film attempts to encapsulate how complex childhood can be for people and how it carries with us. I don't know about the relationship with her sister though.
I thought it was weird considering how short it was, how much time was devoted to the yoga class. I wasn't really sure what came out of that, because yeah, when it did get into the family stuff and whether it is dealing with the sister or friend or whatever, the story kind of took off, and at first I was expecting something very, very different.
And when I watched this movie, I thought the same thing. The first time I watched it, I was like, why is there so much time on the yoga? The yoga doesn't come back, but it does. It's that motif with her necklace. That's the thing she's using to heal her past. She can't change what's happened. Yes, I see your hand. She can't change the past now, but she can do something every day to put her right in the present that's not happening to her anymore, because she's doing something to live in the moment. That's what I saw.
As someone who uses media to interact with victims of crime, I would go with, it's clear that there's a couple things. That the effects of trauma is a silent language that doesn't need words among victims of crime and survivors. So they kind of touch on that. And that PTSD from trauma, especially childhood trauma, is from the ups and downs. Those golden moments where you start to feel safe, and then the trauma and this is how, you know, the trauma it causes us to be unstable attachment disorder things later on. So for me, I think it has good roots, but I would go a little deeper and get darker on there, right? To create that contrast. Whenever you pull from opposite directions, you can make an unspoken visual statement and really pull the psyche into the audience. I would go a little darker.
And a lot of short films are proof of concepts for larger pieces.